A lot of people will say that it's impossible for a 4-year-old to know if they're trans or not, but actually that's not true. They can know.
Dear trans kids,
no one can erase who you are, no matter how hard they try.
Hey, are you somebody that claims that trans-affirming care for children is wrong because it supports genital mutilation? Guess what? You can relax. You can breathe easy. You can sleep well tonight. You want to know why? Because nobody is performing trans-affirming surgeries on children, you dingbat. Now you can take a deep breath and get your head out of your...
So what you're saying is, if this did happen, you would be against it? I'm wearing the perfect shirt for this video today. If minors did experience genital mutilation, you would be against it. That's what I'm hearing. Because what you're saying is, don't worry, it's not happening. What if, hypothetically, there was a minor getting bottom surgery and he lost his life due to that? Would you be against it? I'm asking because it's not a hypothetical situation. This actually happened. Would you condemn what happened to Jazz Jennings, the famous trans kid who got bottom surgery at age 17? The thing is, buddy, no one is saying that we're doing this to 2-year-olds or 5-year-olds. And when it comes to genital mutilation, we're not only talking about surgeries. If you give a child who hasn't even reached puberty yet puberty blockers, the child would most likely never experience an orgasm. If you give a boy who hasn't reached puberty yet puberty blockers, he will end up having a micropenis for the rest of his life. Don't you dare say that this is not happening. Maybe genital mutilation is not the right term, who knows, but don't you dare claim that giving children puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones is a good thing, and especially not harmful. Shame on you. I found this story on Ground News. Listen to this. Judge blocks Georgia ban on hormone replacement therapy for transgender minors. Unbelievable, how can you block that? And here I was, happy to see all the states in the US finally protecting and standing up for children's rights, but I guess some people had a problem with that. Ground News is an app and website that lets you find out what's really going on by providing every article on every story in one place. Let's take a look at the story I just showed you. We can see over 40 articles published on it, and this is a big blind spot for the right. Why is that? I think it's because they're simply happy with the news. And when you think about it, positive news stories are rarely talked about. But left-wing newspapers are super mad about this law, so it makes sense that they write a lot of articles about it. And speaking of unbalanced coverage, my favorite feature is the blind spot feed, where you can get out of your way to see what's being over and underreported by the media. I've been following news on transgender and LGBTQ+ to see top stories and even blind spot to make sure I'm getting the full unbiased information. If you want to see through media bias and make sure that you're getting the full picture, go to ground.news/OT, sign up for a free trial through my link this month only. The link is in the description.
When a kid tells you that they're transgender, believe them. A lot of people will say that it's impossible for a 4-year-old to know if they're trans or not, but actually that's not true. They can know from day one. Gender is baked into everything we do. You either have a boy name or a girl name. Boy toys or girl toys, boy clothes or girl clothes. So from an early age, kids understand the difference between boy and girl, and more importantly, which one they're expected to be. So it makes sense that if what they feel inside is different than what they're expected to be, then they might feel uncomfortable, and they might want to talk about that discomfort.
Well, it makes sense if you live in a world where boys can only do boy things and girls can only do girl things. A lot of kids would feel a form of discomfort. So instead of being more tolerant about what it means to be a boy and a girl, children should transition to the opposite sex. You can actually make the children's lives easier and remove their discomfort if you were just tolerant enough as a parent, thinking it's okay for your child to be gender nonconforming.
And we all know that kids are good at talking about how they feel. For example, mommy, I skinned my knee. Mommy, someone called me a name on the playground. Or even, mommy, I don't like wearing boy clothes.
Okay, so you admit if a boy wants to wear a dress, he's not a real boy anymore? But yeah, you're the progressive one, I can tell. Children can communicate if they have hurt themselves, but they cannot communicate that they deal with gender dysphoria. It's simply not possible. Children are children, and they're not mature enough. I cannot believe I have to explain this to an adult. Are not mature enough to understand that they deal with a mental disorder. Also because what if it goes away? What if that discomfort goes away naturally? According to all statistics, the vast majority of the children grow out of this discomfort, so how about we leave them alone? Is that so hard?
That's not to say that all kids will realize they're transgender when they're little. A lot don't. I didn't until I was 27, but I can't tell you how many people I've met that knew they were trans at 4 or 5 years old. So if there's a kid in your life who's telling you they're trans, please believe them. They know what they're talking about, and your support might save their life.
Do you know what we also should? Accept if children end up being gay. We should also be okay with the idea that children are not trans. That it's okay not to be trans. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but here we are as a society. It's really effing sad. You can actually save these children's lives if you don't put medicine in them that would most likely sterilize them and give them a ton of physical and mental issues. I cannot even imagine what it's like to detransition. I cannot even imagine this, I can't even say that word, the unaliving rate among detransitioners. And you might think, well, he's only talking about the social transition. That's not harmful, right? It depends on how old the kid is. If you let a 5-year-old boy socially transition, how would he know that he's not a boy after all? Because he only had 5 years of lived experience as a boy? Sooner or later, he's gonna forget that he's a boy because he's getting used to being treated as a girl, being referred to as a girl. It's just not okay, in my opinion. I grew up with gender dysphoria. No one, if I even had the words to explain it to other people, no one should have listened to me. Because I was supposed to live my life as a girl. I was supposed to not sterilize myself and live a very different life. No human should deal with gender dysphoria. It's like a mistake to deal with it. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain. The condition is not supposed to be there in people's lives. So we have to assume that people don't deal with this disorder. It only affects very few people in society. What's interesting is, it's true, we can actually save these children's lives by listening to them. And if we actually listen to them and hide all our ignorance about what it means to be a boy and a girl, you would assume that the children will end up being gay. So if you're giving children puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, you didn't actually listen to them. You as an adult listen to yourself and your ignorance. And it's not okay. Children cannot help that you're ignorant.
Dear trans kids,
My dazzling trans youngsters.
My young trans powerhouses.
My courageous trans bunnies.
Beautiful, extraordinary trans kids. Hi, we love you.
You're extraordinary.
You're inspiring.
You're exactly who you're supposed to be.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
No one can erase who you are, no matter how hard they try. You are a gift to this world.
Where's the same video for gay kids? Or young detransitioners? What a disgusting video. No kid is trans. Being trans is an adult thing. Look, children thrive on validation and affirmation from adults, and they would do literally anything to get that from adults in their lives. Gender dysphoric children do not hear enough in today's society that it's okay to be gender nonconforming. It is okay to end up being gay. It is okay to be a boy liking dolls, being a girl liking monster trucks. Why is that hard to say? Monster trucks. All they hear is, it's okay to be trans. You are trans, and it's completely reversible and harmless to medicalize you for life. Disgusting. It's factually wrong, morally wrong. I cannot handle it. Why is it so hard to leave kids alone? Let them be whoever they want to be? I'm so glad that I transitioned when I was 20. I'm happy that I waited as long as I could before I changed my life permanently. What I'm also happy about is no adults in my life felt the need to make that decision for me before I was old enough to consent to it myself. If you're under the impression that your child would not be alive anymore if you don't give them the transition, wouldn't you do everything in your power to get a second or a third opinion? If gender dysphoria in children is a death sentence, first of all, why do adult transsexuals even exist? And second of all, why wouldn't you as a parent say to yourself, this cannot be true, that it's either death or sterilization. There must be a third option. I sympathize a lot with these parents who feel pressured into transitioning their kids, but I'm giving some tough love here. You gotta do your own research. I mean, we're not only talking about the trans stuff, it's a part of life. Doing your own research about everything. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want, you can support me with a small donation under Super Thanks. It helps me out so much. So thank you on beforehand. You can become a member of this channel where I make exclusive content. So if you want to join us, there's a link down below. Follow me on social media and I'll see you all in my next video. Peace out.